Okay, so I've got this 7 pin I gotta hit in order to get the strike, but if I do that, will I have enough points at the end to tie with this guy? Well, I gotta see, but beforehand, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, intelligent hooligans with a romantic view of the world and super strong arms, daughters of bowling alley owners with multiple suitors, parodies of various manga series, the bowling style of Don Carter, and sports manga tropes galore. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 286. Taiwanese mangaka creates sports manga. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, some podcasts of reviews about connecting enhanced narratives. This is your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Yes, we are back for another fun-filled episode, and more importantly than that, we are getting there. We are getting close to the 10-year anniversary, and I'm psyched. I've got some ideas for what we're going to do, but if you have an idea, email me, zanspiraken.com. Now, I am getting a little ahead of myself. Beforehand, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Spiraken is a podcast that provides informative reviews about connecting enhanced narratives. Every episode, I'll talk about 1 or 2 manga titles and tell you the pros and cons about it, how the art style is, the characters are, the background images are, how the jokes are, and if it's worth investing your time in or not. You don't agree with anything that I say or if any of my co-hosts say stuff, but we try to be informative, educational, entertaining, and impartial as possible. Now, if you want to see some of our other episodes or check our review archive to see what mangas we've talked about in the last 9 years, you can check it out at www.spiraken.com. That's Spiraken. Yes, the opening is actually kind of an anagram for the whole podcast in general, but I digress. You can also email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com. Also, we are on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Apple Music, Spotify, Player.fm, Stitcher, YouTube, and several other social media sites, which you can check out just if you look up Spiraken in Google. And if you are following us already, thank you very much. Leave us a comment, or better yet, tag us if you're on Instagram, DM me on Twitter, and retweet me. And if you are on the Apple Store, definitely leave me an awesome review. It gets our numbers up, and maybe we'll bump up to the top 50 again like we used to a long time ago. But now that that's another story for another day, let us get to the actual review of the podcast, shall we? Because it is the middle of the week, and in a week and a half, one of the greatest movies I've been waiting for is coming out. What am I talking about? I am talking about Avengers Infinity War. It looks like it's going to be amazing, great, wonderful, and I am so excited for it. I really am. And it is something I have been waiting for a while, because you know that we here at the Spiraken Review Podcast love us some Marvel stuff. We try doing it DC stuff, but Marvel is so much our bread and butter. So we're going to do an awesome review about that. Me and Greta. I'm going to see if I can get some other people, maybe Zorro, maybe some of the other old reviewers. We can get on to talk about Avengers Infinity Wars. Or better yet, we get them on for episode 300. I'm still talking and trying to finagle some stuff around. But anyway, I'm getting off topic because I know you're here to listen to the review of the podcast. So, if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it detailed to be there reviewing a manga that actually is pretty unique because the creator of said manga is not Japanese. He is actually a Taiwanese comic book artist that was hired by Akane Shisha or New Young Express magazine to release a manga. Now, this guy's name is Tong Ai, and he released this manga in 97 through 2008. So it's had a 9-year run. There are 24 volumes, and this is a comedy sports manga that focuses a little more on the comedy than it does the sports, even though it is pretty informative, and it does talk a lot about the sport in general. And what am I talking about? I am talking about Bowling King. Now, the cool thing about this manga, as I said, since the creator is Tong Ai, a Taiwanese mangaka, this does not take place in Japan. No, this takes place in Taiwan, and it's very cool. It does a lot of little things differently. It does make a lot of references to other series, and more importantly, that does make some kind of racist statements about certain cultures. And all the characters do not have Japanese names. They all have Taiwanese or American names. And let's start off with our main character himself. And this is Shute Lei. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Taiwanese names are a little difficult for me. But He is this high school kid who his whole shtick is that he grifts people. He'll get into situations where he can't win, and he'll say, "Listen, because he's a short kid. He's like, "Listen, I know a way that we can resolve this. All right, how about I challenge you to arm wrestling? If I win, you'll let my debt go, or you'll pay me money, or whatever. And if you win, I'll pay you triple what I owe you." And usually, when they think, "Oh, this strong kid, he's not going to win," and he pulls out his left arm and he decimates them. His left arm is super strong. It's like that Simpsons episode where Homer got the from Rainier Wolfcastle, and he kept lifting this dumbbell over and over and over again with his left hand until it got freakishly long and freakishly strong. And that's what this is. He's super strong in that arm. Now, he met a girl online, and it turns out that this girl that he never met breaks his heart. So he's depressed and sad. And he sees this girl randomly with his best friend Hoshin, and he falls madly in love with her. It's like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I have to save her somehow, because he tries doing a cheap line, and she laughs at him. So, being a creepy kid, he stalks this girl to her house. And she is the daughter of a bowling alley owner. So he goes to the bowling alley, and it's closed because the Yakuza is there. Because the owner of the alley's son, so the girl that he likes, her name is Zhu Xing, her brother racked a huge debt with the Yakuza, then bounced. So they are coming to get their money one way or the other. They're going to either burn the place down or kill him, or they're going to do something, because they said the collateral for the money he owed was the bowling alley. So this kid shows up and says, "Listen, this is the woman I'm going to marry. I love her to death. I'm her boyfriend, so I will kick all your butts. How about this? I'll arm wrestle all of you." And the guy laughs at you and says, "Yeah, no, fuck you. We're not going to arm wrestle. You know what? If you're going to say that you're going to pay back these 3 million yen that they owe us, so you're going to have to bowl for it. And here's my girlfriend, Lily. Now, Lily is a champion bowler. If you could beat her, then I'll give you 3 months to pay the money back. If you lose, you owe me triple the amount, and your life is forfeit, okay?" So this kid's like, "Sure, I'll do it. I'll kick your butt." How do we play? He has no idea how to play. So he goes and plays, and he immediately lets the girl go first because he tries to be a gentleman. He watches her, and he sees how she bowls, and it turns out that Shutai has a photographic memory, and he's able to assimilate data and copy people's movements, what they do. So he achieves the same results. So he learns, he's a copycat. He watches them bowl, and then he uses their ability to kick their butt. He ends up impressing this girl, Lily, so much that she breaks her arm. Well, she bruises her arm bad and says, "I'm not going to fight him. He's going to win." Crack. You know what? He is the winner, and I'm going to lose. And now the dad likes this kid, but the girl's like, "No, I can't go out with you because I have a boyfriend who lives in America." And the guy will never come back. So Shute ends up transferring himself and Hoshin to this girl's school to win this girl's heart. However, the minute he transfers to this school, what happens? Edgar comes back from America, and now Shute wants to win this girl's heart and to take back what he feels is his, the girl. So he's going to challenge this guy who is a world-famous American bowler from New York to a match. The only problem is that as he does this, he locks himself up in a room with a bunch of tapes, and he watches lots of professional league to absorb and learn lots of techniques and skills. And it's the day of the match. You think he's going to win, but no. Turns out he has a cold, so he has to do these ridiculous things to play the bowling match while not getting sick and just puke and pass out. So he's like, "I'm going to eat these chili peppers. They'll wake me up because I have 102-degree fever." It's crazy and ridiculous, the lengths he goes to win. And then to top it off, besides him doing these weird antics, he constantly does these weird things that make no sense. Like, he'll pop up in a costume, and they'll say, "Where'd you get the costume from?" "Don't worry about it. It just doesn't matter. I do it." He, at one point, dresses up as Mario and makes people jump like he's jumping on them, going doobu doobu doobu, doobu doobu doobu. or he dresses up like the Statue of Liberty, or he dresses up as a woman, or he dresses up as a Hokuto no Ken character, or at one point, a doctor shows up and the doctor looks like a certain Osamu Tezuka doctor. He's like, wait, are you him? No, I just like that manga a lot. I just want to look like him. So it's a gag manga with the sensibilities of a sports manga. Because it's a sports manga, but it's really a gag manga. It does focus on the better elements of sports, and specifically of bowling. It talks about the techniques used in order to bowl. A lot of them I actually learned because fun fact, my parents both were bowling champions as kids. They weren't ones who won national awards, but they did win local tournaments and things. So there are a lot of trophies. So they taught me some interesting techniques for bowling. And I'm a fan of bowling, so it was an interesting element to see how good they were at focusing on the bowling world. And they do talk about some of the more famous bowlers. Like the big one they talk about is Don Carter. He's this guy who was a baseball player who decided, I'm going to become a bowler. So he changed his technique from if you bowl, you have to do a pendulum style. You take the ball in front of you, move your arm forward, and lower it like a pendulum, and then swing it, and then you use that momentum to make the ball roll and hit the pins. Don Carter, on the other hand, he would use the bowling ball like a baseball. He'd pitch it at the pins, and he'd strike it guaranteed. So this kid, Shute, learns this technique, and he throws it, and he's able to get a strike almost every time. The other stance he uses is Bruce Ray's cross guard style, which is holding the bowling ball in a weird way so he could bowl it with extra strength. It's pretty informative. However, the majority of the manga is gag manga style, and it follows that for a pretty decent amount of time. I made it probably 3 volumes in because, well, I could find it at Book Off in Japanese, or I could find it through alternative means. But the manga is just Shute trying to win over Zhu Jun's heart and also get the money that he ended up owing to the mob to save the bowling alley that Zhu Jun's father owed. Because there's a tournament arc immediately because this guy says he'll give $3 million to whoever is going to win the tournament. And he says, I'm going to win the tournament for Su Jun because I love her. And Edgar's a douchebag and I'll kick his butt. And he has all these followers, like his best friend, Hu Xing, who is the kid who helps him with his antics. You have Lily, the girl who is the loan shark's friend, who, like I said, she broke her arm to not fight him, but she becomes his friend and confidant. And also, I was surprised that he didn't end up trying to woo her because she seems like she's into him. She ends up liking him and trying to help him out because she is the exposition character to explain the different styles of bowling, and also she's the one that deals with his antics a lot. Another character I didn't even mention is Yen Ni, this daughter of the rich businessman who's hosting the bowling tournament, and she's a girl that he bumped into, and she got insulted by this, so she decided she's going to make him fall in love with her, and then she's going to dump him. The only problem is that every time she tries to get him to fall in love with her, he is unresponsive or her plan backfires. That blackjack-looking doctor, she hired him because she was going to have the doctor inject him with a sleeping potion so he'd fall asleep and then he'd lose the tournament and then she would comfort him. The only problem is that it backfires and she ends up getting stuff injected with the needle and she ends up passing out. So every time it just backfires on her dramatically. Now, there's some other characters involved, but look, they don't matter. The main thing is, how is this story compared to other sports mangas? Last time we talked about a sports manga, we talked about Eye Shield 21, a manga that is a series I did not like the sport of, but I fell in love with it and I was addicted to it. Now, this is a sport I enjoy. I know about. How is it as a sports manga? Does it get me engaged and interested? Meh. It has the facts for it. It has the knowledge behind it, but it focuses more on the hijinks that are going on. Yeah, you have the tournament arc styles. Yes, you have the Shonen Power Creek of him learning new moves or copying other characters to beat them. But, one, I don't sympathize with this character. He's a little pissant. I don't find him interesting. I find him actually rather annoying. The comedy of him going, wow, I'm going to do this. It's more, let's see how much of an ass he makes of himself, and then using these dirty tricks to win. It's not like iShield 21 where he actually works to win. This is, I'm going to do anything I can to piss off the other person and cheat to win. Now, there are some series where cheating helps it and makes it more interesting, especially like the mangas, the gambling mangas. But this one, I can't sympathize with him. I find him to be kind of reprehensible. And just in seeing the pop culture references at first was really charming and witty, but after a while it's every 5 minutes he's dressed up as Michael Jackson, or he's dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, or he's dressed up as a random anime character or a video game character, or he's dressed up as a book reference, and it just got tiresome. It was just, this is just, I'm getting bored, I'm going to randomize it. Focus on the plot and it'll be a lot better. Also, he does come across very stalkery because this girl has a boyfriend. Yes, the boyfriend has problems. Yes, the boyfriend is flawed, but she loves him. Deal with it. Find someone who likes you for you. Don't be like, I'm going to win this girl over because I like her and she's going to be mine. It comes across really creepy. And because of that reason, and the art style is okay, it's very different, and it's probably the elements of Tong Ai's art style. So I'm going to have to give this manga a gift from your crazy Aunt Muriel, okay but forgettable, because it's okay. But it's really, in the end of the day, it is forgettable. The fact is, it's the best elements about this is the fact that it is not a regular mangaka. It's someone who's an outsider who made a manga that was pretty popular. Apparently, a lot of people enjoyed this series, but I just can't get into it. And they don't go further with other bowlers. They only focus on the fake bowlers and then Bruce Ray and Don Carter. They don't do anybody else. So it's okay, but it is really forgettable in the end of the day. If you want a story about bowling, I think they could have done this a lot better with a much more non-antagonistic character and a much more compelling story. I'm surprised it lasted 24 volumes, but unfortunately, this manga fan is not going to read any more of it. It gets points because it is informative, it is educational, and other characters are interesting, and a lot of the gags do work. But it does get tiresome. And the main character I don't like. I like all the other characters. I do like the multifaceted nature of Lily. Lily would have been a better main character because she's the girlfriend of a loan shark, but then also she was engaged to a character who's, because of their bachelor party, she was engaged to this guy, he has a bachelor party, someone dies, and then her brother, who's going to be the best man, gets framed for the murder of this person because reasons, and then because he didn't do it, he ends up killing himself in jail, and now she hates this character. And then the worst part about it is that she was pregnant. So she loses the baby of the guy she's going to marry because the guy she was going to marry, he's the guy that ends up killing this girl by accident. So it's a whole fucking thing. And you want to know more about that. But no, it's just one sight gag and that, or one chapter about this past, and then let's focus on Shute trying to use that information to blackmail the girl to get with him. Shute is the worst part of this thing. Every other character I really like a lot more. They're all multifaceted. And I feel really bad for Sung Zhu because she could do better. Edgar's flawed, but he's a good guy at the end of the day. And there are other characters who are so much better than Shute. So yeah, that's all I can say about this manga, but I digress. Anyway, remember you can check out any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com, and you can email me personally at zanspiraken.com, and check out some of the other sports mangas we've talked about, because we have some great sports mangas. Kuroko no Basket, you have iShield 21. What else was there? There's the one with the jujitsu I just covered. Worst we talked about. This isn't as bad as Worst. Worst, I hated that character because he was a little piece of shit. But that was about Taekwondo. There's PK, which is about jujitsu. Check them all out. We have lots of them. Just check out our review archive. And now, with that out of the way, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one. That only. The Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, acceptable substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it, and I've applied a manga tile to each of the slots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the Wheel of Manga, and whatever number it lands on, that's review the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 287. Almost there, folks. We're going to do this. So let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode. Number 5. Pretty good number. Kind of cool. But the title of the manga that we're reviewing is Junji Ito's Cat Diary, Yon and Mu. So, wait, what? So, the guy who made a bunch of horror stuff from Gyo and Uzumaki made a cat diary? What? I'm confused. And as I say this, the cat Maddie, who I talked about a couple ago, walks up on and started to drink out of my cup. So Maddie, what do you think? Do you think that this is going to be a good manga about stuff? She shakes her head no. Well, we'll review it and see what we think. Uh-oh, she's leaning on the mic. No! Okay, I'm going to leave this in because it's a cat. But I digress. So, I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. This is your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Read more manga.